Imagine putting on a vest that can strengthen your bones, improve your cardio, improve your balance, and preserve your muscles. It sounds like a fitness superhero gadget, right? Well, welcome to Ageless Island, your destination for staying strong, sharp, and ageless inside and out. In today's episode, we're sharing the powerful science-backed benefits of weighted vests. They can help with bone health, cardio, balance, and muscle preservation. Before we get started, I want to give a very special shout out to my biggest fan and youngest, probably, my grandson, Johnny. He told me that he watches every episode and that he was the first to subscribe and like my videos. Hi, Johnny. You are now an official member of the Ageless Island team. Remember, I wear a weighted vest, not a white coat. I'm not a doctor, just a curious woman lifting the weight of the research so you don't have to. So what is a weighted vest? I found out about them or started seeing them about 2 years ago, but I didn't really get interested in buy one until about 3 months ago. But it's a wearable fitness tool that you just slip on. It can come preloaded as a set weight, or you can buy adjustable where you can add or take away weight. I like to wear the slim style, talk about that more later. And most of them come with adjustable straps so that they can be snug and comfortable and fit all different types of bodies. So unlike using dumbbells or machines, these distribute the weight more evenly and keeps your hands free, so they're more versatile, joint friendly, and you could wear them around your house while doing daily tasks. Just wearing them 2 to 3 times a week can improve your balance, your posture, your metabolism, and your aerobic capability. Osteoporosis is a big deal in this country. It affects about 10 million Americans, with about 44 million more at risk. It's a silent disease, and your bones weaken, and you don't even know until you get a fracture. So the major thing you could do to prevent this that we know of is weight bearing and resistance training. It's essential to stop that bone loss and to encourage more bone to grow. And women out there, if you're a low body weight already, you're at an even bigger risk. Women with a BMI of less than 20 face 2 to 3 times greater fracture risk than everybody else. And wearing a weighted vest can stimulate the mechanical load on your bones that you're not naturally receiving. So it's a great idea and something easy to add to your workout. What does the research show? So there was a study called SNOW, 5-year study using weighted vest, but unfortunately they didn't use weighted vest alone. They also were jumping on a trampoline. So yes, it did help with bone mineral density in postmenopausal women, but we don't know if it was the vest or the jumping or a combination. Then there was another study called Jessup with 18 women. These were all average aged of 69. They did tasks like walking, stair climbing, and resistance, all with a weighted vest at about 10% of their body weight. They exercised 3 times a week for 32 weeks, and the results were pretty good. So they had their femoral neck density increased by 1.3%, where the control group actually lost 0.07. They had improvements in balance and leg strength and function. There was a Thai study, and this is probably one of the better studies, although they didn't measure bone mineral density, they did look at bone markers. This was 48 women using a treadmill with weighted vest, and this was a 12-week study. The vest increased their load up to 8%. Gradually, they increased it by 2% each week of the study. And the results were a reduced bone turnover and an improved aerobic fitness and leg strength. So bottom line is weighted vests combined with walking and resistance can be a game changer for maintaining bone strength and hopefully for improving bone strength. But without more studies, we can't say without a doubt that it does increase your bone mineral density. The other benefits of wearing a weighted vest is improving your exercise intensity. So there's something out there called Zone 2 cardio, which is fairly a new topic that people are talking about. But, for years now, it's like, work out at max speed, go to your max heart rate, and just go crazy out there. But Zone 2 is actually what they're finding is where the magic happens for longevity. Zone 2 is low to moderate intensity. It's about 60 to 70% of your max heart rate. And for women over 50, that's about 100 to 120 beats a minute. So it's where you can talk, but you probably can't sing or have a really passionate conversation. Why it's important? It helps you burn fat, and it improves your cardiovascular health. It can also improve your mitochondrial function, which is important if you watched my methylene blue video, which I will also put a link in show notes to, because that is your cell powerhouse. So we want to keep that strong and healthy. It improves insulin sensitivity, endurance, and can even help your mood. The cool thing about Zone 2, it's easy. It's so much easier to get motivated to go out there when you know you're not going to have to go at your max height of intensity, that you can just go out there, you'll be able to have a conversation with somebody, get your heart rate up, but enjoy yourself at the same time. So it's way easier to get motivated to do a zone 2 workout, I think, than to go out and do like HIIT training. Wearing a weighted vest will make your body work harder, but also it will improve your VO2 max. So your VO2 max is your body's ability to use oxygen efficiently. And this is one of the most important markers in showing what your longevity is or what your longevity will be. VO2 max is important in building stamina. It gives you a stronger heart. And this is crazy. It actually lowers your risk of an early death by up to 50%. So that's how critical your VO2 max is. And training with a weighted vest that's about 5 to 10% of your body weight for 6 to 12 weeks can improve your VO2 max by 3 to 5%. So that's massive. That is so important for your health overall. The other great thing about weighted vest is it can help with your balance. So as you age, as we all age, balance declines and you have an increased fracture risk if you fall. So 50% of women over 50 will break a bone. So we want to keep our balance good. We want to keep our core strong, and weighted vest engage your core and can stabilize your muscles that can improve your coordination and your body awareness and your balance. There was a 2013 study on postmenopausal women showing that women that wore a weighted vest improved their balance by 104% compared to women doing aerobic exercise that improved by 49%. And then there was an actual decline in balance in women that didn't exercise at all. Something cool you could do if you get your weighted vest is you could do a single leg stand, or you could walk on an uneven surface. But this leads me to who shouldn't wear a weighted vest and when you should be careful. So if you already have balance issues, don't go out there and walk on unstable land. Get your balance, get used to the vest, and be sure you have fairly decent balance, or no issues with balance before you go out and do something crazy in a weighted vest. Also, people who shouldn't wear a weighted vest, if you have severe osteoporosis or vertebral fractures, if you have bulging or herniated disc, if you have scoliosis with a Cobb angle greater than 30, if you already have joint pain, if you already have what you know is chronic joint or inflammation or joint pain, probably not a good idea to put more pressure on your joints. Also, if you have uncontrolled heart conditions or certain heart conditions, definitely check with your doctor before adding any added stress to your workouts. And if you're pregnant, so even light loads added to any of these conditions can pose health risk. So just be careful, know your body, and talk to your doctor if you have any of these already. It's not a definite no for these conditions, but it is something you want to check to be sure it's okay for you. And as far as safety tips, start with about 5% of your body weight. Or if you're like me and you only want to buy one vest, just start slower and not going as far. So I started with my 10-pound vest, and I just, walked about half of the time. And I only did it for one day of the week. Then I added a couple of days in. Then we started going further, and now I can do it at my 3 miles, and I could do it 3 times a week. The other thing I would recommend, and it's just personal, because like I said, there was a study where they were jumping with weighted vest. I already feel a load when I walk with the vest, and it's crazy because it's just 10 pounds, but it makes a big difference in the exertion, and I can really feel it. It doesn't hurt my joints, but I can tell it's there. I feel like if I ran or jumped in the weighted vest, it would be too much for my joints, so I personally wouldn't suggest it. And this is important, and this isn't just my recommendation. You should avoid wearing a weighted vest while bending, while twisting, or while you're lifting, because this is going to put pressure on your spine in ways it wasn't intended. So you don't want to do the added weight if you're doing something like laundry and you're bending over and you're grabbing the laundry already. It's just going to put more pressure on your spine than what would be suggested. Also, until you're confident with your weighted vest, be sure to stick with flat surfaces. You should also be sure your vest is snug, breathable, and that the weight is evenly distributed. So like I said, I started doing this probably 3 months ago, and I started gradually. Here's a video of me walking in my weighted vest. I started a couple times a week, and then I gradually got up to 3 times a week. what I do is I also do Zumba and I do weight training a couple of times a week. So I fill in with the weighted vest walks. So depending on how I'm feeling that week, I listen to what my body says. If I feel like I've overly worked out and I've had a lot of hard workouts, I might not use my weighted vest at all that week. But if I feel like maybe I need a little addition, or I want to be sure that I get a little bit more strength training in, a little more pressure put on my bones, then I'll do it a couple of times a week. And then sometimes I'll do it 3 times a week. So it just depends on what you're doing, what other exercises you're doing, and how your body feels. Don't feel like you have to do it 3 times a week. It's just something to add to your fitness routine to make you stronger and make you healthier, but listen to what your body is feeling. For me, I can definitely feel the increased effort when I'm working out, and I use my Apple Watch to monitor my heart rate, and it does get me into zone 2 way faster. I shouldn't say way faster. It gets me into zone 2. When I used to walk without the weighted vest, I wouldn't even get into zone 2 cardio. So for most of the time I spend walking with the weighted vest on, I am in zone 2 cardio, which is definitely an added benefit to my walking routine. The other added benefit of the weighted vest is I do this with my husband, Sam. So I love our walks. We get to talk and catch up on things that have happened throughout the day. We do it in different places. So we'll go along the water, we'll go into parks, we'll go through the neighborhood at sunset. And it's just a really nice way to connect. And it's something we can do together to keep ourselves healthy. I think it's a really nice thing for couples to do together. So if now you're wondering and you want to buy a weighted vest, but you don't know which one you should buy, I'm going to put a couple of suggestions in the show notes. The one that I wear is the Apex Up. As you can see in the video, it is a slim vest. It is adjustable, but it is a set weight. So like I said, mine is 10 pounds. You can get it up to 30 pounds. It can be worn by me. My husband can also wear it. So multiple body sizes, male or female, can wear this particular vest. It sits above the bust line. So I like it. I feel that is a more comfortable fit for me. Also, I like that it's so small and doesn't cover much of my torso. So living in Florida where the weather is hot, it is nice to have it breathable and not to be covering so much area where some breeze can't get through while I'm walking. Some people do complain that it can rub their underarm area. I think that just depends on what type of shirt you're wearing. I haven't really experienced that, but that is a complaint I have seen online. I buy mine on Amazon. They run around $50 to $70, and I will put a link in the notes again. Another vest that many recommend online, if you're thinking that you want to start low and go higher, and you think over the months you're going to adjust your weight, is something called the Hyperwear Hyper Vest. So it is designed for women, and it is curved to avoid the bust. It is a breathable fabric. I haven't tried it, so I don't know how breathable it would be in Florida. And it comes with adjustable steel pellets, so you can increase that weight. It fits snug, it's bounce-free fit, and they say it's great for small frames. It is pricier, so it's about $99, but you don't have to buy a couple of vests if you're looking at changing the weight. So that could be a benefit to you. And remember, you're investing in your health. So between $50, $99, this is an investment for your long-term health and longevity. So that is not a big price to pay. Some interesting things I found out while I was studying this was one, of course, it can increase your calorie burn. When I walk with Sam, he always comes and he's always burning off way more calories than me. So this is nice because when I have the weighted vest, I'm burning about 10 to 15% more calories than I was burning without the weighted vest. It can also improve your mood because it can give you a better endorphin boost when you're in your zone 2 workouts. And it can even save you time. So for me, I walk 3 miles at 3 miles an hour. So that's a 60-minute workout. With my 10-pound vest added, I can actually burn the same amount of calories in about 53 minutes. So I'm still in zone 2. I'm putting a load on my bones I wasn't putting on it before, so that's better. And I can walk in less time. So I don't necessarily like to look at it that way. I'd still probably rather get my full workout in. But if you're in a hurry, it is nice to know that you get a quicker workout in and you're getting a more effective workout in less time. Weighted vests are a really promising tool for bone health. Like I said, it's zone 2 cardio, your VO2 max, helps with balance, but it's not a magic cure. And we don't have all the study results out if you're actually trying to build bone versus maintain bone. I personally feel like, knowing what we know about how bone is built, that they are a really beneficial tool, but we just don't have the study data to support that right now. Remember, if you're going to do it, start light or start slow, progress gradually, and pair it with strength training. Watch your diet and be sure to add protein, because if you're trying to build muscle, and you definitely want to, the earlier you can start building muscle, the better off you're going to be as you age, and you don't have to worry about muscle loss as much when it's harder to build muscle. So start early, keep the protein up. Again, talk to your healthcare provider when you're starting something new, especially if you have anything you're concerned about. I would love it if you would share your experiences. If you're using weighted vest, if you have any questions, let me know. I'll try to get you an answer. And the other thing, I've been doing this for a while now, and I'm just curious to know, is there anything out there that you all would like me to talk about or do a podcast on? I'm always looking for ideas. I have a list of my own, but in case there's something you guys are interested in, just let me know. Drop me a line. Again, please like and subscribe. It really helps me to know that I'm going in the right direction, and lets me know that you're out there watching my videos. It's nice to hear people come up to me and say they've been watching my videos, but it's nice to also see those likes and subscribes. So our next episode, we're going to be talking about creatine. A lot of you probably heard about that in the past. It's got surprising capability for people over 50 for building strength, even helping your brain and helping your energy. So you're not going to want to miss that episode. And again, thank you, John Patty, for providing the music for the intro and the outro. And thank you all for listening.